it's MK and I am back with a slightly different type of video. We decided that, we being a bunch of YouTubers, we decided to do an interview with a scrapbooker. And I thought it was kind of cool, so I volunteered, but what it was each scrapbooker was paired up with another scrapbooker, and then I got a different scrapbooker that I was paired up with. So someone asked me questions, and then I got to turn around and ask someone else questions. So my questions actually come from Vanessa Bell. She is such a awesome person. You guys really need, I was going to say gorgeous, but if you guys have never seen her, that's irrelevant. So, but yes, I absolutely love her style, and I'm so stoked that I got questions from her. But we were supposed to ask 5-ish questions, things like that, and of course introduce ourselves. So I am MK Gunn, and I also go by Some Assemblage Required. I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, scrapbookers are known to take several little bits and pieces that are completely oddball. Like I take pins and patches, just ephemera, I guess, or memorabilia that I find along all of my journeys and travels and staycations, and I apply them to my scrapbook to help me tell my stories. And so I really liked the name because it does take some assembly required, but I wanted to put a twist on it because I don't just glue paper to paper as some people say I do. So anyways, that's the introduction. Ta-da! So also, how long have I been scrapbooking? So, you know, I mean, I guess the first question would be what first got me into scrapbooking? And this takes me all the way back until I was like 13 years old. So I'm not going to tell you the date, but when I was 13, I actually went over, I house sat for our neighbors. They had puppies at home, and I was old enough to hang out at their house like an adult and take care of these puppies, and also make it look like somebody was home, so it didn't, you know, so people didn't like get too, you know, curious as to why the house is dark for so long, that sort of thing. Anyways, the point is that when she, the neighbor and I were kind of, we were friends, even though she was an adult and I was a teenager. And she showed me this new hobby that she was thinking about picking up, and she went to a couple classes and tried a few things. And it was this, I didn't know what it was called at the time. And so she had these really cool photos and all these little cute stickers, and she made a water layout with dolphins coming out. And it kind of framed the photo, you know, framed it in like this, and then she had her photos, and it was like splashes of water, and then she had a title going on. I mean, it was just like appealing to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was several years later when I found out it was Creative Memories, and I think I was 19 at the time when I found all this out. Of course, you know, I wasn't able to get into it at that young of age, things like that. Life got in my way. So in reality, I really didn't start scrapbooking until probably late 90s, like 98 or 99, somewhere in there. But again, life got in the way, and so I didn't get into it like I am now. I definitely did not, I didn't have the space, the time, the room, nothing. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And so everything fit into an 18-gallon tub back in the day. And when it was sitting in a closet for a couple months, I thought, you know, it's just wasted space. And so I gave the whole tub away. And when I picked it back up, probably, I want to say 2005, I picked it back up and I blossomed from there. I started doing my workshops, showing other people how to do this gorgeous art locally. I started working at our local scrapbook store, and she even bought me this really cool, I say me, but she bought this really cool like presentation stand, and it was kind of like a bar, and then the people taking the class could sit on the outside of the bar, and I sat on the other side and taught my classes from the bar. Also, yeah, I also picked up Cricut and became an affiliate with Cricut and taught lots and lots of classes. I wasn't too impressed with their little 5.5-inch platform that they had on the original teeny tiny little Cricut, but when they came out with that Expression, I took off like a shooting bullet, and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to share it with the world. I had classes probably once a month, and they were huge events, all-day classes, and I absolutely loved it. I actually miss having classes like that, you guys. I miss the rush. I miss the people. I do. I miss it all. But yes, that's basically where it blossomed from there, and I have not stopped since. I'm always on the lookout for new and unique items and things like that to share with the world. I didn't start recently YouTubing until 2019, and even then it was a little rocky, and I was very, very scared. I didn't know where my voice was. It's like, I can do this in a crowd. I can do this in front of people, but for some reason on camera, I'm shy? What's up with that? I'm boring. And then I started getting a ton of support, a ton of, what is the word? It's boosts. I just got a lot of boosts, and I just don't know I don't know what to say. But I enjoy doing this now, being on camera and doing all this. I still love my classes. I would love to start putting together my, in-person classes. I don't want online classes. They're very boring and not personal. I would love to do that again. But anyways, I just totally got off track. I apologize about that. The next question. Do I have any 2021 scrapbooking or YouTube goals? I'm going to have to say no, because I am terrible at having goals. Deadlines is different than having goals. So last year, actually, was it last year? I believe it was last year. I wanted to at least finish one album. Because of the circumstances that came to play, I actually finished 4 albums. And so I was super stoked, and I am in the process of starting from A and working to Z in all of my albums and finishing up, just the little bits that are left. And then I can call it complete and done and move on. I just have lots and lots and several things that are hanging in the woodworks of, just that they're in pockets. Like most of them are pocket pages, and it's like, well, they're in a pocket. They're done. They're okay for now. And I need to get out of that mindset and definitely finish up those pockets. And that is why I came up with Thumbnail Thursday, to get me motivated at least once a week to work on one of those pockets. And if you guys get tired of pockets, it's because I have a bunch. I have a ton. So anyways, I'm also was requested to share some of my favorite layouts or projects while I am doing this, if I wasn't comfortable showing my face. Well, when I show my face, I don't know where to look, and it's kind of like I feel like I'm interested in something else, over yonder, rather than staring at myself in the camera. And so it's quite difficult for me to show you guys my favorite layouts, because as soon as I am done creating that layout, I journal on it, and it goes right into an album. And if I'm getting ready to show a flip through of an album, which I haven't done yet, I didn't know what you guys thought of flip throughs, so let me know what you guys think of flip throughs. But what I do is I basically put a sticky note on the backs because my journaling is very private and my handwriting is atrocious, and I think that it just takes away from the whole layout. It's like an eyesore, but I want to journal. It is something that I do. But when I do a flip through, I'll have all my journaling on the sticky note, and then as soon as I'm done with the flip through, I'll go through and I'll write everything in there. So instead of taking a whole bunch of layouts out of my albums, I decided to show you guys some samplers that, while I'm doing my interview, show you guys some samplers that I do every other month with a local group here in town. So I do still kind of teach classes. It is a very, very teeny tiny little group, just because of the restrictions that we have. So some of these, some of the ladies just request the pieces and the bits, and then they do it at home in, in the safeness of their home, which no shame there. But basically what I do is I pick a bunch of supplies and show within a little square the different things that you can do either with the same supplies or taking several supplies from several different collections and making them into one. So that is what we were going to be looking at, and I kind of put them by season-ish, maybe? I tried. So anyways, I will flip through these while I answer the rest of Vanessa's questions. The couple questions that I have been asking is kind of just like an overall for everyone to answer. So the next one on Vanessa's list is, what are your favorite photos to scrap, and where do you go to find inspiration for your pages? So my favorite photos to scrap, in case you guys are haven't figured that out yet, it's junk and outdoors and family outings. Those are my favorite photos. For one, we have such a huge family and they're all starting to grow up and do their own thing. And so when we get to do things together as a group, I take tons and tons and tons of photos, because it's like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to take photos again. And so I scrapbook those the most, because none of my kids remember to take photos. My husband never remembers to take photos. Yeah, and so when we are all together, I do try and snap a whole bunch of the photos that we do. So where do I get the inspiration for my pages? Either within the photo, or I get it from the papers that I picked to use with the photo. I don't have a lot of time to scour through Pinterest or I don't know what else is out there. Split coast stampers used to be a thing. I don't know if it is anymore. But back in the day when I did like a layout a week, then yes, I did all that. But now I don't know if I feel like I'm behind or caught up or however I feel. But I stopped doing that. I stopped trying to find someone else's artwork to blend with mine. And I basically put my photos, like here's a couple photos. I just take these photos and, I let them talk to me. Okay, what are my children doing in this photo? What do I want to represent with my layout, of these photos? Does that make sense? I hope that does. Basically, it's what's the story I want to tell using these photos, and I have to portray it on this surface. That is my mindset when I start scrapbooking, is the story that I want to tell and where do I want to go with it, and then I'll start picking out my papers, and then it blossoms from there. So that is my inspiration. That is where I get the ideas for my layouts. And sketches. I do, I'm not gonna lie, I do use some sketches, especially when I am totally stuck on a page, a layout. Anyways, what are your favorite types of products and other color combinations to use on your pages? So my favorite types of products are unique products. They are, I don't want to say one of a kind, because clearly a manufacturer had definitely created, you know, these to sell on the market. But I love looking for unique, interesting things. I love the texture. I love I love thick. I love thin. I love it all. What is it? The textiles, the different things, the metals, the woods, the fibers, anything like that. I just love having not all of it on one page, but all of it throughout my album, and looking at all of the different things. I love including maps. I love including pins and patches, pieces of fabric. I have done that before too, where I have, it was my kid's favorite shirt, and I didn't want to throw it away, but I wanted to remember that that was his favorite shirt. I would take a piece of it. Actually, it was a strip. It was a big strip of it, and I put it on a page because he wore it for 2 to 3 years, and it's like I can't not remember that. Or I will cut up a patch off of a shirt. What are they called? The little packaging on a pair of pants. I've used that too. Labels. I've used those as well. So unique products is what I like to include because it's personalization. That layout is mine. And I'm not saying that I don't want people to scrap lift, because I think that is very, very appealing. It's the best way someone can say, hey, you know, you inspired me, and it makes me cry because I'm very emotional. I wouldn't say I'm an emotional wreck, but I am very emotional. But I just love putting that small, teeny tiny, unique, you know, MK thing on that layout, and it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, you know, when I get to add my personal touch to it. So the next question, oh, and I didn't answer the color combination to use on a page, because I don't do that. In all honesty, it's the color combination comes from the papers I picked out based on the photos that I am using. So most definitely, I don't have a favorite color combination. If it would probably be blues and greens and browns, because that goes with everything that it goes with outdoors, it goes with junk, it goes with you know, everything. So yeah, I would definitely say that. So the next question is, who are your favorite designers, and what are your most purchased items from collections when they come out? I don't follow designers. I just don't. I usually am such a picky scrapbooker that I end up not liking an entire collection. Like sometimes I will just want it all. It's very rare, but sometimes I just want it all, like Cocoa Vanilla. Sometimes I will want the whole collection, and other times I want to be nitpicky and just pick out little bits and pieces. Like, for an example, was it called? Their Sunkissed collection just came out, but then there was a Dream one that came out before that. Well, the Dream one, there was only a few pieces I wanted of it, but the Sunkissed one, I wanted all of it. And so it's kind of like one of those things where you, you know, kind of like one of those where I definitely wanted, I forgot what I was saying. I got squirreled. But yeah, I definitely don't have a designer in mind, but I do have, you know, the product that I nitpick from. So as far as the most purchased items from collections, I would definitely have to say that before I make the decision of purchasing, I do enjoy like looking at, like really looking at the product first before, because at first I get really super excited, and yes, I want it all. I have to have it all because the colors just speak to me, and they say they say that they need to come home and live with me and all that good jazz. But I do have to say that when it comes down to putting everything in a cart and purchasing it, I go back to the cart and I definitely make that finalized decision. So I can't say that I have to have all the puffies, or I have to have all the alphas, or I have to have all this stuff. It's a decision that I choose to make based off of, like, would I really use it, even though I love it? Would I? And so that's where I would make that choice. So I don't really have a specific must purchase. But if I would say anything, it would probably be the alphas for sure that, that I must purchase, because I just absolutely, I didn't start using thickers or alpha letters sticker things until 2018, maybe 2019, and I fell in love with them. At first I thought, nope, I got stamps, I have all the alphas I need, and I never run out of letters. Yep, that was me. Same with the Cricut. I can cut out all these letters, I can do all those things, and not have to worry one bit about running out of a letter. And then all of a sudden I used my first thicker, and it was gone from there. Let me tell you. So, anywho, definitely, I don't know why I wasn't showing you guys the close-ups of all the others, but hey. So yeah, I would definitely probably say that it would be the thickers if I absolutely love them, which I probably do. So last question, is there a technique or style, this is a long one, you would like to try but are intimidated by it? And then what advice do you have for scrapbookers when it comes to finding your own signature style? So a technique or style that I would like to try but are intimidated by it, definitely I would have to say is my mink machine. I don't know if that's a technique or if it's a style, but it definitely intimidates me. I've used it twice, and I don't have a knack for it. I'm still trying it. I still have product to try. I think one of the things that it definitely is kind of like one of those, what's holding me back is the fact that when I run out of the product, will it be there in the market for me to use later. So I don't like buying things that sell out quickly and then you can't get it ever again. So now I have this tool that I worry about, will I be able to use it in the long run forever and ever, because now the foil is gone, or the pieces to foil are gone, or do I have to purchase a specific printer to be able to foil from now on? And I mean, it's just those types of questions. And so I basically just set it off to the side and have no use for it. Because it, things like that. Is it intimidating? I guess it would be. But the last time I foiled something, it didn't come out as shimmery shining that I was expecting. And so it was kind of disappointing. And I need to practice with it, but again, if I practice using up all my materials, where there'll be materials to purchase at a later date. So that's where I'm stuck at with that one. And then the very last question about having advice. Oh my gosh, who wants advice from me? On finding your own signature style. So, my only advice, I stamped that, by the way. That's a stamp. I'm sorry, squirrel. My advice would be, do your own thing. There are no rules in scrapbooking, none whatsoever. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you that you are scrapbooking your story wrong. That is not, no way. There is no wrong way to do this. There is no wrong way to scrapbook at all. I definitely encourage you to do your own thing. Get your own voice and your own style out there. There are no two people alike, and there's definitely no wrong way to do it. So that would be my only advice, is to do your own thing, and don't let anybody shut you down, because it is yours. They're your photos, they're your product, and you're the only one that has to like them. You and whoever you choose to share them with, that's it. And so I definitely encourage you to, do your own thing. Definitely. So, yeah, that is it. Thanks for listening to me ramble forever and ever. I do want to show you guys a few close-ups of the ones that I missed because I clearly was not paying attention. So here's this one, stamped all the way around. I just love showing different little techniques inside each of the little squares. That is just my favorite little thing to do. Here's this one. Real quickly. In case you guys didn't notice, I absolutely love the bright sunshiny yellow of the bees. Makes me feel like spring, makes me feel ready to go outside. Here is this one. This is one where we got to choose our own colors and color in the flowers, pick the different cardstock background to color. There was blue ones, there was purple ones, someone even did a multicolor. That was cool. I mean, I just couldn't believe all the different colors that came from this one, and they were awesome. I should have took pictures. And last but not least, there is this one. Most elegant one, I guess. And there you go. All right. There's my little interview. There's my little story. Thank you so much if you have stuck with me to the end and listened to me babble all the way through it. And I definitely look forward to listening to everyone else's interviews and seeing what they all have to say. All right. I will check y'all tomorrow. Bye.